What's up, world? Comic Dads 85. We are on. We're my bad. We're live. Want to talk about today is April 29th, and I'm going to be rolling solo tonight. Going to be jumping right into the main topic. I don't have this camera's throwing me off. There we go. Don't have any current events or a lot of current events. Probably get those in next episode when I get the crew here. But I am going to hop in to talking about your fitness or my fitness or our fitness. I know y'all see me smoking, so it doesn't seem like I care about my fitness too much, but I do. I know y'all see me wiping like something calling my mustache, trying to shave. Um, but yeah, I do care about my fitness. Exercise pretty regularly. Cardio, muscular, mental, spiritual, all those. And that's what we'll be talking about tonight. Fitness is not just your physical fitness. You got your mental fitness, your spiritual fitness. You've got financial fitness, social fitness. So when you hear fitness, a lot of people think, my weight, how I look in the mirror, things like that. Fitness is not only that, but fitness overall is your ability to respond to your surroundings, your environment, right? So, it's along the lines of responsibility, but it's more like under the umbrella of responsibility. So, in order to be responsible, you've got to be fit enough in order to respond to the environment in the way that you're needing to, right? So, fitness and responsibility are two separate things there. So, talking about physical fitness, that's what most people think of. You got PE classes when you're in school, when you're coming up. You got recess, sports, physical education, things of that nature. So a lot of people focus on the physical when they hear the word fitness. So in that realm, your fitness is, again, you want to be able to respond to your environment. Um, so you kind of want to be prepared you want your body to be prepared to take on the load that you're going to be putting your body through. So basketball players uh, practice basketball and the associated movements to playing basketball. Same thing for football players. They practice playing the game and they practice the associated movements of playing the game. So, most football players aren't going to practice and shooting free throws, right? So that's not required for the fitness that they're needing for the football game. There's no free throws in football. Same thing for an NBA player. They're not practicing tackling, right? It's not to say that they're not fit. It's just that is not part of their fitness, their requirement for what they need to respond to their environment, right? So with that being said, your goal when it comes to being fit is to not be strongman. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dolph Lundgren, Brock Lesnar, Superman types, right? Your goal is just to be, again, able to respond to your environment, and you would hope for the best of your ability or the best of your capacity. So, like what I do, I kind of want to be ready for a range of things. So I want to be athletically, physically fit, if that, I guess that's what you would call it. Love martial arts. I like playing basketball. Football, I will play football. Haven't played in years. Feel like my body's taking too many injuries to go out there and just be hitting other people, or colliding with other people in that way. So I don't do that anymore. I don't even say often. I haven't played football maybe 10 years, something like that. Haven't hit another adult person in football pads in that long. So yeah, last time I played though, I did put somebody out. So fitness. Got an interception, first interception as a football player. Got it as an adult, not even in high school. It's crazy. And again, I like martial arts, so a lot of the movements I do they correlate to martial arts training. Like for you martial artists out there, when you pull your leg up before a kick and you have it in a certain position, it's called the chamber position. Matter of fact, I got some space right here. I'll show y'all real quick. So you got your leg and your kick. You bring your kick up, chambered, right? So when you got it chambered, you can flick it out, bow, right? Send where you needed to go. So I do work on that. My kicks, particularly, I use resistance bands. I used to use weights, ankle weights, but my knees aged, that thing. So now I use resistance bands, a Tom Brady workout, and I work on my chamber and my extensions just to keep my balance up and my kick strength up. Excuse me. So I do those. I've actually started working on my back muscles even more. And you don't realize how important those back muscles are until you start to get to be about my age, and yeah, you start to get those back issues. Because a lot of people don't realize is what's happened is those back muscles have gotten weak and overused, and what's been going on is those front muscles, your pecs, especially for guys, your pecs, your abs, biceps, shoulders in the front anyway. They've been compensating for everything in the back that you didn't have. So what I've decided to start doing is to go back around and start from the very beginning and just retrain my body, recoordinate my body, right? And so what I mean by starting from the very beginning, again, you don't need to be strong, man. You don't need to be super strong, man, right out the gate. If that's what you want to go for, fine, but it still takes time. So I started out with maybe a 5 pound weight, reps of 5 pounds, 2, 3, 4, 5. It felt just like that, right? I can go faster, yeah, but that's not the point. Point of that, starting like that, is getting the motion down, getting the muscles to wake back up, what they call muscle memory. And what they say is they say it's muscle memory. The memory is not actually kept in the muscle; it's kept in your brain. So, but the connections are still there. You having to wake those connections up. So I started out 5 pounds, a 5 pound weight, and my goal was to go up to about 100 reps, increase weight, things of that nature, right? Um, I think this time around though, I started with a 15-pound dumbbell. Yeah, 15-pound dumbbell. The hell is that? Sound like something crawling out there. Well, I cut all the branches off the roof, so I don't know what the hell that is. But yeah, man, something in my eye. Sheesh, golly. Yeah, started out 15-pound dumbbell, 5 reps, and God, man, it must be an eyelash. Now here I am now. I think I'm up to about 35 reps. So what I'm doing is I'll do three sets. So a set is basically you get 5 reps. That's one set. Right. So what I'm doing, I'll do like 5 sets. I do 5 reps, one set. Right. I'll do 10 sets or 10 reps, and that's my second set. And I do 15. That's my third. If I can finish that 15. Right. So I've been going up by 5 reps every week, and working on different parts of my body, and I like the results. So that's one method you can do. There are other methods you can partake in. You can go more reps. More reps, you're going to get more cut, or you can go more sets. More sets typically gets you more power, right? So there's that balance there. A lot of the tips I took also that I remember came from Bruce Lee when I read his Tao of Jeet Kune Do. He has a great exercise work or exercise regimen in that book. The new revised version. I'm not sure about the first edition, but I knew the new revised edition has that information in there. I can't remember specifically all the workouts. I will say he worked on his conditioning and he worked on his abs a lot. As for conditioning, I do work on my conditioning too. Again, you can start easy, take a walk around the block, work your way up to where you're power walking, jogging, whatever, right? So me, what I do, I've kind of alternate. So now I'm doing. I'll go do a little lap around the park, do my one lap or whatever, and call it a day. Maybe a little stretching, martial arts, calisthenics, kicks or whatnot. Done. And then the other one is my more high intensity day, right? So I've got my weighted rope. I've got my cones. So I can do my calisthenics that way. Burpees, horses, whatever you want to call it, up downs. And I also add in explosions. I think they call them box explosions. So I'm actually jumping on the boulders that they have at the park. So I jump up on top of those as fast as I can, up and down, up and down, up and down, right? Um, and then I also do maybe like not a full lap, just go down, kind of like a cool down jog, and I might work on my kicks. I've been doing that a few times to that. The last few times I've gone out and done my conditioning, I've done my kicks too. So there's the physical fitness of it all. So you want to make sure you get your vascular and your muscles, all right? You're gonna be able to breathe so you can get oxygen and blood to your muscles for whenever you get strong. And let's say you're in an altercation, whatever, you don't know how long it's gonna go, but you want to be prepared. So got to be conditioned to use those muscles, right? So then you have your mental fitness. Uh, there's a term called neuroplasticity, which basically means that you're gonna learn. You learn till the day you die, till your brain just stops. Neuroplasticity means that your brain can still be molded, and by your brain having the ability to still be molded, that's why they translate it to mean that you can still learn. They used to think at a certain age that you couldn't necessarily learn anything, but now that's completely blown out the water. You can learn new things until the day you die, right? The thing about learning new things, there are easy things to learn, and there are complicated things to learn. And the complicated things to learn, people a lot of times get frustrated and give up on. And that's simply because the concept of whatnot is complicated. And a lot of times, especially in today's age, we're used to that immediacy, right? We want it now. Some things aren't that way, and I learned that when I took elementary statistics. There were times I was like, man, forget this. I'm done. I'm done. My brain is shot. I can't do anymore. But when I found myself pushing forward through that tension in the brain, right? I found I was able to get the equations solved, or I guess like a better explanation, or to shorten the explanation, I got the equation solved, right? Um, there's also, again, I talked about those reviews, your self reviews as you go through life and as you go through your day. Part of that mental fitness, but also being able to check your emotions, to not necessarily control, but pick and choose what you partake of that's going on in here. You don't have to cuss everybody out every time the the instinct, I don't say the instinct, but the idea to cuss somebody out pops in your head. So you got to be able to monitor and manage that space as best you can. Part of that includes being able to recognize when you're getting angry, right? When you're getting sad, all the emotions when you're feeling those things. Are you hungry because you're actually hungry, or are you hungry because you've got nothing else to do? Those things. That's all part of your mental fitness. If you're eating because you've got nothing to do because you think you're hungry, of course that's going to lend to itself towards your physical fitness in a possibly negative way, right? So they tie together. They call that that's part of the mind body problem, I guess. Some people have a mind body problem. And it's hard to for some people it's hard to be what they see themselves in their mind. Some people already see themselves as that, whether the rest of the world sees them as that or not. So that for them it makes it even more hard. but to transform yourself into what you see you are in your mind. That's a journey. That's a journey and probably a skill and a talent. Some people reinvent themselves regularly. Um, Kanye, he jumps into these guises every now and again, and recently now here he's on some other trip, trying to reinvent himself. Andre 3000 went through a reinvention. Let's see, 50 Cent. He trolls, but he's not the same, particularly the same guy he used to be. So you transform you, and it's all part of that thing that makes us human, I guess. And then there's the spiritual fitness. I guess but the best way I would tackle that at this point would be to say your spiritual fitness would be more intact or more in line with I guess what you believe. So it's a hard one. I guess it's a harder one to tackle than I thought it would be. um, but yeah, again, if it's what you believe, say if your belief causes you to do something. No, I don't want to put this. I got it. So I look at spiritual beliefs in general as either generative, meaning that they give life, or degenerative, meaning that they take away life or stunt life. So in the vein of that, that's how I'm going to address the spiritual fitness. So in your spiritual fitness, you got to ask yourself: Are you doing things, or is your life aligning things with things and ways and values that are going to lend themselves to propagating life, future life, um, more prosperous life for you, maybe others around you? Are those the things that you're involved in? Are those is that the value system that you're attaching yourself to? Right? Um, are you taking a mental inventory or physical inventory of the things that you do in life and partake in that will either lend themselves or take away from those generative goals that you're trying to achieve or generative ideas that you're trying to instill? These are things you got to think about, right? Um, and again, I'm not trying to isolate or single out any one particular belief, religion, or philosophy or creed or whatnot. Just saying overall, that's generally how I look at all of them. Are you because whether I believe in it or not, I understand that there can be some good that come out of it. And are we gonna but on the flip side, there could also be some bad. So are we gonna focus and dwell on the good, or we're gonna focus and dwell on the bad? That's where I come from with that. Let's see. Oh man, I forgot to put the link in the hold on real quick. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. There we go. Ooh man. That's why I be liking having the crew. I be needing the crew. The crew is very crucial. So I'm typing in live right now for a limited time only because it is for a limited time only. We only having gonna be doing maybe about 10 more minutes, and then I'm going to get to bed. And that's also part of the fitness. If you're getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep a night, at my age, I'm starting to feel it. Not gonna lie to y'all, I'm needing a little bit more sleep than I used to get. I used to be able to go off 3 or 4 hours of sleep every day and be straight. Um, for some reason, I just can't. I don't know if I'm not even getting the groove. Putting too much. I'm putting more mental energy out. Whatever it is, but I need 5, 6 hours sleep now. Before, I'm not gonna make it. Oh man. And sleep, again, is important because it resets your system. Um, they say it affects your blood pressure, which makes sense because your system is being reset and it gives your blood pressure a chance to reset, right? It gives your brain or your consciousness time to organize thoughts, ideas, and new information that you've taken in throughout the day or through the night, and categorize and put it where it needs to go. Block this off, put it subconscious. Put this in the working memory. Things of that nature, right? It gives your whole body a chance to recuperate. Um, if you're not healing, maybe scratches or something like that, like you think you should or like you used to, and you notice that you're not sleeping, you're maybe 8 hours, 6 at the least. That could be why you're not healing as fast as you used to. You're not getting enough sleep, and particularly what I used to do. Say I got an ache or pain, or, something minor, right? Cramp or something like that, nick. I used to do this healing mantra before I went to sleep to get my whole body in the mode of healing when I go to sleep. So I'd suggest find your healing mantra, getting that vibration, let your body do what it does. Your body's a miraculous machine, they say. So we got sleep, we got exercise. How often should you exercise? Sometimes, well, when I'm in the groove, I'll probably go 6 days a week, and I give my body one good day of full rest before I get right back at it. I do work through the soreness, so whatever I can do while I'm sore, I go ahead and knock it out because it's called. I can't remember what it's the full term, but you're adding the more load you add to your body and send your muscles into muscle failure, the more muscle you'll be rebuild in order to resist that muscle failure next time. So you should be able to lift up more next time. That's how you build muscle and muscle strength right there. A combination of Wolf's Law and I guess biochemistry and biomechanics, biology. Let's Wolf's Law. So for y'all that don't know what Wolf's Law is, a lot of martial artists might know what Wolf's Law is. Let's say, I've got my fist, right? My knuckles, it's kind of flat, right? Let's say I want to get them tougher. I can get, a piece of wood and just, knock on that at a nice, you know, force, not too strong, not too soft. It's strong enough to make the muscle and bones and whatnot adapt. So as you continue to do that, you actually cause these micro fractures in your bone, and the calcium and vitamin D will fill those micro fractures in, reinforcing the bone. And after a while, those micro fractures will start to compound over the top of each other. Now you've got a more dense bone. So it translates to you not having to punch as hard to cause damage whenever you do. And as far as I know, you can do this with every piece of uh, how do I say hard bone. Yeah, pretty much every piece of bone besides like your cartilage, like your nose and your ears are out of there. But like every other hard bone you can in your body, which is freaking crazy. Like who's gonna headbutt a rock to make sure the skull is super strong? But if y'all ever watched that episode of what it calls Stanley's Finding Superheroes or something like that on History Channel, they were actually found people who had these extraordinary abilities, and one of those guys was a guy who can headbutt pretty much anything. He was headbutting nails into pieces of wood. I can't remember what his final test was, but I remember they ran tests on him to figure out how he was able to do this stuff, and they found out his skull was like 2 or 3 times as thick in this area as a normal person, so he wasn't feeling anything. He was he headbutts you, it's over, right? Speaking of headbutting, for y'all guys out there that think 100 men can take on one gorilla unarmed, stop it. Just stop. The 2 points I come up with. So one gorilla, let's say 100 men charge one gorilla. I estimate like 10, 15 people just being destroyed, just off the rip, like that, instantly, like one swipe, gone. 15 guys, trashed, right? Not getting back up. So you're down to 85 in an instant, right? And then the other thing that made me think about this is like, gorillas fight other gorillas just to be playing around. And even when they're not playing around, one gorilla doesn't typically kill the other gorilla. It typically takes a team of gorillas to kill one other gorilla. So, I mean, good luck, you 100 guys. I'd prefer a weapon, at least a weapon, because hand-to-hand combat with a gorilla is not happening. No, no, sir. One chimpanzee could take on at least 15 people by himself. That's a chimpanzee. We're talking about a quarter of a ton primate. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Y'all got that. I'm going to go ahead. We got about 26 minutes. I got about 4 minutes left, a little less than that, actually. But do want to thank y'all for joining. Do want to thank y'all for listening. Again, we do have the episodes on Spotify, Audible. I feel like there's one more. iHeartRadio, I think. I think we're on iHeartRadio. I haven't checked that in a while. Also have the audio versions on YouTube, and of course, you guys are getting the video live, and you'll get the edited videos uh, as well. I do have more skits coming. Just now getting more space available on my devices. That way, I'm able to actually edit the videos and update things the way I need to now. We've got some commercials coming. Got cross promotions coming. Shout out to Retro Gaming Dojo, Heroes, Horrors, Games, and Gadgets. Check them out. Got some good stuff there. Oh, especially Retro Gaming Dojo. I was going back listening to his older episodes, and they were on point. I'm interested to see where he goes and takes that. I will be joining. I will be joining in. I'll be helping in. Um, Heroes, Horrors, Games, and Gadgets. He's thinking about opening back that Happy Hungry Munchies. Try to convince him, telling y'all the cheesecake thing, cheesecake cones, man. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Serenity's Kiss. She's working on a lot of things right now. So when she gets things settled down, we're gonna have candles. We're gonna cross promote these candles. Let's see what else. Who else? Oh, lawn season. If you're in the area, we got the gardening angel, Dwayne. He's your flower guy. He knows a lot more flowers and trees and whatnot than I do. He's the guy I call for gardening tips. But if you need a garden dug up, yeah, I can do the physical labor on that and help you with a little bit of plants. Because I'm also the lawn warrior. So, and I do have my brother and my sister's boyfriend working with me. So we have a nice crew, a network of people getting this stuff done. But again, Karma Day is 85. I want to thank y'all for joining. I'm out. And I haven't said it in the last few episodes, but dominate your day and dominate your night. You have a good one.